In page Kufches. We're in page Kufches, close to the bottom of the page. So we spoke about this Nitzitz Boyer and Nitzitz Nivo. I still didn't find actually the exact definitions. Yichida, Nitzitz Boyer, Nitzitz Nivo. There's a lot. I looked up. There's a lot of various expressions of service about it, but I still need clarity. The point is that we finished saying is the etzem and the shama, which is even above the tahiri. That's mashata mashama bekirbi. The nitzitz bayir. China zu. Okay, now we go to 6 lines from the bottom. China madriga zu. China so that madrig, which is called, which is the etzem and the shama. That is the madriga we saw. כמו שכוסה בעץ חיים, שעל זה נאמר בונים אתם, היא הרבה יותר הולך מעץ חיים. בונים אתם, that the Eden, the Neshamas Yisrael are compared to children. That a child is like we speak in the modern language, it's the same genetic material as the parent. It's the same thing, the essence of the parent. So the same thing, the Madrig, we talk about bonim atem, the Neshamas are compared to bonim. ידוע דיסול לבחינת בן, ויעקב לבחינת אב. כשכוסו יעקב עבדי, בעין הנשמה נמשך בגוף, ויסתור לבחינת בן. So to summarize what he said, he started the discussion that it noish that the neshama there's the reish of neshama and the regel of neshama. So he spoke all arichas about. First, he spoke about how there was neshama started with Torah and there was bras vasa itzart and nefachta. So at first we thought pshat that the bras itzart and nefachta nefesh roch neshama, that is the regel. And then in the Tahiri, which we called the Tahiri, in Shabbos Datzilus, that's what thought we called the that's what it looked like. That's the Reish. But we've finished all discussions. It turns out that the Reish is even higher than Tahiri. The real Reish, Ben Boni Matem, that talks about the Etzem and the Shabbat, which is an above Tahiri. Atem Shama Bekirbi, which is say the Nitzitz Bayer. So now he's going to develop it more. The Ine, see, Pasuk says in Keheles, Ma Isen la'Adam, Shiyamal b'Cholam Molish Shamal Tachas Hashemesh. That's the question, a question and a statement that the Pasuk says in Keheles. What advantage does a person have from all his effort that he owes, the effort that he works very hard? Tachas Hashemesh, under the sun. Isa bezoya says in Zoya, Yochel afamal so can think that when it says Ma'isen la'Adam b'chiyamoil, what advantage does a person have from hard work? Can think that it applies also to Amal Deiraisa, to learning Torah, to working hard learning Torah. Amud loymar asher yamal tachas hashemesh. That the pasuk when it says Amal, my Yisrael, it's only talks about the Amal which is tachas hashemesh. Shaina Amal deiraisa the leila mishimsh. Hashem and Amal deiraisa is above shemesh. It's going to talk about what means shemesh. We'll go into shemesh in a minute in the next page. Chain the Gemara Shabbos Aflaman Beit Tzimtas. Where brings the Zoya, then it brings the Gemara. The Gemara says the same thing. Amar v'yanai tachas Hashemesh l'dein le'avel koydem Hashemesh yesh. Says Rashi, Pirush Rashi, what is Pshat in Gemara? Shabbos, that the tachas, that the Torah, which is a milam in Hashem. Rashi, the Lashon brings here is koydem Hashemesh. Rashi says. Pirush Rashi sheyamal b'Torah shekodma l'shemesh, because the Amal Torah is kodma l'shemesh. Yesh le'isen, that Amal has an advantage. Well, Sanhedrin, then another word else we talk about Amal. This famous Gemara in Sanhedrin. It has call Adam l'Adam nivosh. Nema Adam l'Amal yulad. Yivole. What's the lashon called? I don't remember that. Adam l'Amal. Well, hold on, let's see. Yulad, yeah. Adam Yulad. Says the Gemara. What it says, call Adam. The Gemara says, call Adam la'amal niva shenema Adam la'amal yod. Every person is created to work hard, exert himself. Any day, im la'amal peh or la'amal malach. So we don't know what Amal the pasuk is talking about. It's a pasuk in Eiv. So what is the Gemara? Nefesh? Was it Nefesh? Nefesh. Oh, it's a pasuk. Shema Nefesh Amal like Yakal of Piu. It's another pasuk. What does it say there? That's a pasuk in Mishle. Nefesh Amal Amelaloi Amlaloi Achafal of Piu. Sagt Rashe, Nefesh Omel Am Amlaloi. And the person works hard because he forces it, he works for his own sake. Ki Achafal of Piu. So Rashe, interesting shot in Rashe. Kishapiu Teve Keifeu, his mouth forces it, but Teve Loi Michael. And he forces the mouth demands food. Or the mole meres the shachal b'sham. So the person, the work that he worked hard for parnos, his mouth demands food. So the nefesh amal. But the Gemara says, the Gemara uses the pasuk to explain what does it mean. Adam amal yulad. Does it mean amal malacha or amal peh? Is it enough to exert yourself to speech, or it has to be action? So first of all, the pasuk says, so from the pasuk in Mishle, we realize that Omam can also mean Pihu. Okay, that's not Rashi. That doesn't fit Rashi's shot, but that proves that Piv means the Omal is from the Peh. But still not clear what the exertion of the mouth should be occupied with. Either it's a mal sicha, which we'll soon later learn what sicha means, or amal teira. So I think, if I remember correctly, in the Gemara, sicha, sometimes say it's tefillah. Or let's say the simple meaning, sicha means speech. And amal teira, because oimer leyomosh sefer teira zem picha ve'oimer avei la'amal teira. That was the ultimate purpose of the Amal, is the Amal Torah, to exert yourself in learning Torah. That the ultimate purpose of creation is to exert yourself in learning Torah. The Lashon Zohar is the Elam Shimsha. The Lashon Gemara is Kaidem Hashemish. Kadma means doesn't mean like in time. It's created. Rashi says created before. Kadma means it's above the madrig of Shemesh. But according to what we just said, that the ultimate amal is amal Torah, not amal malacha. Pasha shniya the krishma vayim shamoya tishmon in the pasha of krishma. The second pasha of tishmon nema was after the ganef. That what is a person? Was after the Ganecha. You will gather your grain. So the pasuk say, if everything goes smooth, was after the Ganecha, you'll be busy gathering your grain, which means manual labor. That's Amal Malacha. That's another interesting question. So we have to understand how. First of all, we still didn't explain what is Tachas Hashemesh, and also Hashemesh, and also what how to reconcile It says in Pasuk, what says the Gemara says, Lamal Te'oniva with the Pasuk in Krishma was after the Ganech. So they have 2 points that opening the question. So to understand that, we bring in another discussion, which is a little reminds us of what we learned the Maimah before. It says in Pasuk, Kishem, Shemagna Vaylekim, the Maimah before, the Katanti also spoke about the Pasuk, Kishem, Shemagna. It says in Pasuk, Kishem, Shemagna Vaylekim, the Shem Havayim Shal Shemesh. Shem Havay is compared to Shemesh, and Lekim, Chesmagna Manalta, Machasam Matzal Shemesh, Shechot Boil. That the Havaya is like a shemesh which shines, and the likim is like the shield that protects it to ensure that the Eira shemesh should reach the world in a way that the world can accept it, can handle it. Now it goes deeper. Eira shemesh levad. Eira shemesh is not the shemesh itself. It's a ziva. It's only an expression of the shemesh. Sharei. When the sun sets, when the sun is blocked, so the light disappears. So that proves that the light is not the sun itself. Because if the sun itself if the sun gives itself away, then even after the shkir, the ziv will be here. For example, like the Chassidus talks about different oil and shefa. When you pour water, so even if the river is gone, the water is still here. We have it here because it's not. It's amshachas ha'etzem. Here it's only a ziv. It's only a ha'or. It's only an expression. So when the shemesh is shekeya, the ziv is gone. So that proves that the shemesh is only a radiance, only an expression. So it says, since we compared the shem havaya to hashemesh. So the same thing, Shem Havaya, Agam, Davai Lo Shema, Shemokar Yitzavos. On one hand, we say that Havaya is Mokar Yitzavos, the source of creation is from Shem Havaya. That's one of the Perushim Havaya, Loshen Mehav. And Yitzavos from Shem Havaya, Derech Mamela. And how is the creation from Shem Havaya? So it brings in another discussion. The Kitzur brings another discussion that talks in other places of Chassidus. We learned that when the Shav Shem Havaya is v'derech memele. In other words, he's not invested. So what created from Shem Havaya are the elements of Yonim, which are like a natural flow of the creation. See, he says v'derech memele means Moshe v'tzir v'nivo me'ela v'memele. So that talks about the higher levels in elements that there's no need for tzimtzum in between. Like it says in Pasuk Eliyahu, "Anto da fikas asati kunin la anhoga bain all means timid the lois galion." So the creation of Shem Havaya itself, without Shem Elikim. That's the creation of Olam Alman Stumid Loisgam. Means the higher Madrigas in Olam, the Loisgam, but they're not revealed to us. So they're created from Shem Havaya in a way of B'derech Memele, V'nivo B'derech Memele, which means it's a natural flow. Memele was okay, so that's Havaya. We can see, even though the South Shem Havaya is very young, we can see Ani Havaya Yoshmich Shem Havaya Bilvat. Even the Shem Havaya, which creates the elements of Yonim, the stim in the Lois Galia, and it's B'derech Memele, which it always sometimes Siddur brings the dogma of Havaya, the different Havaya Elikim, like Machshav and Dibur. A Machshav Meshetet Stomach. A person thinks automatically. He doesn't have to. It's not something that he has to act to think. It's automatic. It's thinking, which means so that shows that the machshava, levush machshava, is a levush what it's called, dovag b'mkoyer. It's connected to itself. So that's a machshava is that cannot be not to his gas alazulas. It's all within himself. How it is lois galian. So even that level of the creation of Shem Havaya, it's still Havaya is still a Hora Ba'alma, like Shemesh. Omnam Shem Elikim U Shemasti. Is it going to go a long discussion here? Then we'll come back to the point he wants to make. Omnam Shem Elikim U Shemani Umaster the Shem Havaya La Yisrael Tevoim Chos Matzias Yesh. Then that's Shem Havaya. So Shem Havaya also creates, but the creation of Shem Havaya is the Nevoim. It's the almond, the what do you call it? Almond steaming. That's the higher level of Elamas Elyanim. The Elamas which are pure Elikus, like I said, similar to Machshab. Then the Shem Elikim. Shem Elikim adds another layer. Ma'alim Machatzel Shem Havaya. Ma'ayah Shem Havaya conceals and hides that of Havaya, so that causes the creation of Elamas Nevoim plus Mitzias Yesh, not Elamas Nevoim the Lois Galian, Elamas Nevoim that are Mitzias Yesh. Ein Pote Ishtalshus the Elamas Biyah, which means the all the specific parts of Ishtalshus from Elamas Biyah Tzirasi, the Elam HaTachten, until it reaches the lowest of them is Elam HaTachten, the lowest Elam, Elam Shobim Didav Gashmis. That has not only is it limited, not only is it yesh, but it also has a mamish of physical measure. It can be measured. The Gemara says that there's a certain number that you can of distance you can measure which means the Elam Hazeh is limited in space. Takshan is a huge amount, but it's still limited. In that the Gemara describes how each part of the Elam Hazeh, even the Rakia, even the skies, etc., all of it has a certain measure. So that showed. I mean, I don't know. Again, it's interesting how Siddur always has to bring a rayas from Gemara that our world is limited, but actually. I think in the modern view, science, I'm not sure. They constantly have like back and forth. At one point, they say the world is limited. Then some think that it's not limited. It's not gay. I'm just saying. From a simple perspective, the world is a limited being. But Chassidus always brings the raya from the Gemara. Upon him. So this is the ultimate. This is the ultimate Elam Vesta Elikus, because Elikus is Ein Sof, and here we have a world that is limited. It's limited in space. Okay, so that is one part. Because at the same time, Esther the Shem Lakim Eine Esther Go B'Chas V'Shol. Now he shows the other side of the equation. On one hand, we just said that the function of Shem Lakim is to conceal and hide the elikus. That's why the world is limited and is measured. But at the same time, Tacheni, we have the other understanding that elikim itself, Shem elikim itself, is also elikus. Shem elikim elikus ve'eina master. What is eina master? We just said it's master. Now, really, from a certain perspective, Shem elikim doesn't totally conceal because even within creation of this physical limited physical world, there is still an aspect of elikus based galus. Where do we see it? We see an expression of the fact that the world is the elikus is still based galus because it says kol anivoim tenim elikus. We see in our reality a certain bittul the only anivoim after elikus. That's the dogma of the Gemara brings and the Alter Rebbe and Tanya brings, that the fact that the sun, actually all the heavenly bodies turn every day from east to west, that itself, says the Gemara, is an expression of the bittul anivoim. How is it? Because Shechina b'mayit. Gemara says in Baba Bas, let's open the Gemara for a second. Gemara says in Baba Bas, okay, among other places, not the only place, that Shechina b'mayim, that somehow the Shechina, there's a lesson here. That's the Gemara from Tzvah Shemayim Chamish Tachli. What he just said now is the Gemara. It says like this. Let's see. It's interesting. Forgot the details. It's a machlekes in Gemara. Ravach, look at this. Viשב ben Levi, what is his name? Viשb ben Levi says, "Boy v'nazik teir lavi seina sheidir mokem tefila." The ksiv tzva shamayim l'chamish tachli, because the tzva shamayim always turns to Ma'ariv. They all go from Mizrach to Ma'ariv. So we know that Shechina is b'Ma'ariv. That's what Rabbi Shimon Levi said. But Rabbi Yaakov says no. Rabbi, look at this. Rabbi Eish Sova Shechina b'chol makom, and Rabbi Shmuel Sova Shechina b'chol makom, ve'af Rav Sheshet Sova Shechina b'chol makom. So 3 opinions of Shmuel. Tana, Rabbi Eish is also Tana. Rav Sheshet is Amir. All them b'chol makom. But Rabbi Voma Shechina b'Ma'ariv. Rabbi Voma says Shechina b'Ma'ariv. All these things are interesting. So from this we see the fact that look, the Tosfos says interesting. Tosfos says Shechina b'Ma'ariv u'pnei Shechina leMizrach. He compares the. It's true that when you think about it, in the Beis Hamikdash, the way the Beis Hamikdash was built, so when he came in from Mizrach, and the Kodesh HaKadoshim was in the Ma'ariv side of the Beis Hamikdash. The Kodesh HaMarav is the Kodesh HaKadosh. So the Kohen was Kaviyachah facing the Shechina, so the Shechina was a Ma'ariv. And he says with more. So the Tosfos says, Pnei Shechina, since the Shechina is a Ma'ariv, so the Pnei Shechina klapi Mizrach. Lochin Kolo in Ma'ariv Ocher Mizrach Kedem. That's what Tosfos says. That Tosfos says, how do we go according to the opinion of Shechina b'chol makom? Obviously, this is a sugya that requires its own study. How all these expressions in Gemara must, it's like a lot of Haggadahs have some kind of deeper meaning. I mean, we all think Shechina b'chol makom. There, every nod children's Hashem is everywhere. Less asaponim in it. And then it says Shechina b'Ma'ariv. So that's a different topic. We're not going to get into it now. Upon him, so we see the point is that what he says here is not a chiddush. He says it from this Gemara. The Gemara in Bava Basra of Chafei, we see from this that there's a concept that the fact that all the heavenly bodies on a daily basis turn from east to west is an expression of bittul, because the Shechina is b'Ma'ariv and they are tzva shamayim l'chamish tachli. The fact that they move east to west is an expression of bowing to the Shechina, which is b'Ma'ariv. This shows that there's built-in, even though the creation is to Shem Elikim, there's a built-in bittul in creation. Now he brings a more in a way something which is a little harder easier to relate to. With another raya, the kol hanivoim b'teinim l'likus. all the nivoim have a built-in bittul telikus. What's the raya? Moshe Doroim bittul agashmi l'ruchni. We see in general the way the world is created, the physical, the material is always in a state of bittul and subjugation to the spiritual. What do we see it? Number one, we see that see in our body, the body, in the body, the body, the physical body always follows your inner spiritual drive in the shama. For example, when a person wants to move his foot, take the so the foot automatically moves. In other words, the spiritual has a total control of the physical. The foot doesn't have to choose and have an interest in moving itself. But it moves automatically. The minute the neshama, which means the spiritual part of the person, wants to move, the foot moves automatically. Not only that, the goof has to always stay in a state of bittul to the nefesh in order to receive chayim. The goof wouldn't be in a state of bittul to the nefesh wouldn't be machayed. Just like we see that when a part of the body, some limb of the body has a problem, it's an accident, it's broken, then you can't move your hand when it's broken. Because in other words, it doesn't get the highest. So more general, the body has to be in a state of bittul in order to be a kedil highest on nefesh. So he brought an example from our own body, how the gashmis is batal the ruchni. But he says the b'chol davar gashmis shabbat l'ruchni. And the truth is that is in every aspect of physical reality, that the physical, the material is bottled to the spiritual, to the God. Oh, Kamoy, and there's a Gemara says that Esev lamaz lamakavi. The Gemara says Ein lecha Esev lamato she'ein lemaz lamimaylo amakaboy va'emelek dal. What makes the blade of grass grow? Because there is a spiritual, calls it mazel. I mean, how do we translate mazel? Sign, some kind of spiritual energy that pushes them to grow. So this also shows us that every being in this world needs a spiritual push, and that maybe the market, maybe the word market, maybe first of all, maybe the simple, just as we said, the body has to be bottled in the nefesh. So every aspect of our reality has to be bottled to its spiritual source. Maybe the word market is also, I'm not sure, maybe it's also a remez and big place. So then it says even more, and that mazel itself, how does the mazel? Mazel is not a logos itself. It's a certain like heavenly source of life. So that itself is bottled to its source. The pasuk says Gavoy mal Gavoy Hashem or Gavoy malay. There's various levels in Ishtalshalus. Kulam plain lelikus. Eventually, each part of Ishtalshalus has to be bottled lelikus in order to stay alive, in order to survive. So what do we see from all this from these discussions? The point he made before, that even though the world is in a way of there's Elam Vesta for Likud, but it's still some kind of Gilur Likud. It's not Elam Vesta Mamish. That's why there's Bittul in the world. That's why the physical, the material is bottled to the spiritual. Oh, why does the world, in that case, since even Shem Elikim doesn't conceal godness totally, like we see there is some because so what explains the fact that the world does feel independent? We feel independent. The world feels independent, doesn't feel that it has a godly source. So how does that happen? He says, who B'Shem Elikim Yesh Kuf Chav Tziruf, because Shem Elikim itself really is not the way it relates to reality, is not direct. Shem Elikim itself, there's Kuf Chav Tziruf. It says in Sefer Yitzirah, Sefer Yitzirah, Shtei Avonim, Boino, Shtei Batim. From two letters, you can create only two words. From the two letters, Aleph, Beis, can only have two words, either Av or Ba. That's the only two options. But Chamisha Avonim, Boinus Kuf Chav Batim. From 5 letters, you can create 120 words, combinations, from the combination of 5 letters. What is the Nimshul? V'aynu de b'chamisha oitzias Shem Elikim has the word Elikim has 5 letters. Yesh Kuf Chav Tzirufim. And these 5 letters can be combined 120 ways. She'ein ma'alim yosef. Actually, so okay, so the fact that he can the fact that he can make so many combinations. So the word Elikim itself, Elikim is the Eibishter. So the word Elikim in that combination, you see clearly that there is a God, it's a Likus, a God of the world. But when they give the rest of the 119 combinations, so the word Elikim over there is hidden, which is a remes that the way we perceive it, we don't feel the Likus. This is the avodah, the mission and the work, labor of Neshamas Yisrael. In other words, the world was created in a way that because the Skuf Chav Tzirufim Shem Elikim, that the Likus is hidden. And our avodah is to undo the Elam Ve'ester and to be mamsha the beetle and all the Dvarim Gash. Zeu inyan. So that's really the meaning of the inner spiritual meaning of the pasuk. We say in Krishma, V'ayim Shemaya, V'asafta de Gonecha, Hainu le'esef kol advorim agashmim. P'chinas hapirud ela yichud. What is V'asafta de Gonecha? You'll gather your grain. What is the meaning of gathering? The things are spread, and you gather and combine them together. So, from being separate to being united. There's another remez on that in the pasuk in Parshas Vayeshev, and it talks about one of Yosef's dreams. I don't know, we what is ma'alim? Maybe collect and bind stalks of grain together. Kamoya aluma. Just how do we create an aluma? Aluma is like I don't know what the English word. That means it's a bunch. It's a bunch of stalks. Individual stalks of wheat, for example. That's what the ma'alim aluma means. That you collect all the wheat stalks, wheat or the other grains, and you combine them into one bunch. Kamoy Kain, so that's obviously a mushal. That's a mushal on the avodah of the Eden. Asifas, asifas kol advarim agashmim. So the avodah is to collect and gather and unite all the dvarim gashmim. They should also be in a state of bittul likud. V'zeu inyan aluma. So that is maluma. And the word aluma shalosh elaim. What is elaim? Elaim means somebody who is mute. He can't talk. Just shows bittul. Shtika, and he's quiet. Shouldn't a bittul. There's a bunch of Muslim here. The alum that you have the gathering and the bittul. Shtika. He's quiet. He doesn't not express. So that is really the remes in the pasuk was after the gonech. How do we reach?
But in reality, meaning utilizing the gashmius in ruchnius, correct? I mean, Asifa, what's
what he spoke about Asifa means the unity. You unite them all. Unite them all for one purpose.
But how do you accomplish that? Asifa, so you get it. I think it's.
You'll tell us how you accomplish that. How do we reach that? How do we reach the idea of Asafat Ganecha Ma'alim Alum? Idea Avoida B'Krishma, the Avoida. In Krishma, Shma, Salavayla Kenachot, that Yichudei Lo, that is the highest level of Yichud. Yichudei Lo, Yichudei Tato, not the low level. Kinas Bitla Miti, Bitla Yesh Lain. That creates the Bitla. Others happen. Who is bonus Davai Echad? That comes to the Isbainis and Krishma. Shma Yisrael Avayla Ken Avay Echad. Ich Shazayin Akim Va'aretz V'da Adochas Eilam Tenem Le'insof Alof Shalaylam. Kol Kamech V'lochshim. So the person in Krishma, we contemplate how Echad, but the word Echad is Marames, the Ches, which is Zayin Lakim V'aretz, and the Dal Adochas Eilam are all brought to the Aleph, which is Alof Shalaylam. Kol Kamech V'lochshim. They're all in a state. Insignificance, their bottle, that the person who davened, the person who says Krishma, reaches a stage of Bittul Mitzias. He recognizes that the entire reality around him, space, and the entire space is bottled to the Aluf Shalom Talikus. And the way he the person reaches that stage in his own life, so that affects the physical, the material items that surround him. They all become contained and consumed by Alikus. So that's was another pasuk. Tzaddik oichel seva nafshay. Why does a tzaddik eat? To satisfy his soul, which means satisfy his soul. So that's Chassidus explains, to elevate the entire reality around him to a higher state. That satisfies the soul. That's my soul. It's interesting. Earlier he said but I think, okay, it's not, I don't think it's a mistake, but until now I explained the Yichudei Lo. Avay Echad, that everything's Bittul B'Mtzias. Then the Bosh Hashem word, that's Shema. What's Bosh Hashem word? In Yichudei Tato, that's the recognition of Yichudei Tato, that's the view, like in the other Maimon, in a lot of places, the Yichud Nemata L'Mayla, that it's not that he's Bittul B'Mtzias. He's a Metzias, but he's still Bittul. What he says that he recognizes the Sheisavas the fact that he's created, he's taka yesh and he's taka a being, but his source is a likus. Because he knows that his source is a likus. So that's what they're really interested. So that's he already gave us a few levels of his beinus. The law and then before then another. Is beinus is she's beinus beinya reina sata lachnachas achaim v'tatei v'samah v'svasara. Is beinus that in the reality that the Rebbe gave us, there's two options: achaim v'tatei v'samah v'svasara. What's meant to Doctor? What does it mean? Ladova gashmi u'movetz be'etzem. The entire physical reality around him is really dead. That in the sense that it's not real, doesn't have sustenance. Right? It's a type of being that eventually dissolves, disappears, disintegrates. Is something which is alive and good and eternal. The person sees himself in his own experience, and his physical abilities eventually get weaker. It's interesting, brings another his bias that the person sees that his physical capacities with time, as they grow older, become weaker, but his spiritual capacities become strong. I don't know. Hopefully everybody sees that part. It's what it says. In other, it's not something that again, it's not enough our own experience. We see it in Chazal. Chazal, ziknech tamid chachomim. All zman shemaskim daiten is hasheves aleim. Ziknech, the more old tamid chachomim, age doesn't make their intelligence and but not intelligence. Daiton means the awareness doesn't get weaker. They get stronger with time. They get stronger. So that's an example of the fact that the Inyanim Ruchnim mischaskim. Oh, I'm sorry. I said that's the pasuk that the Gemara brings. The pasuk in the older you are, the wiser you are. So which means that's more spiritual. The pasuk Yom Midaber in Eve doesn't talk necessarily about Torah. It talks Bechal. The person grows, he has more experience, and he's got smarter. So again, it's the more spiritual side of the person becomes more mature, more smarter. The physical strength diminishes. Now, in Chazal add another layer. It's not the pasuk. I don't think the pasuk in Eve talks about Torah, but Chazal used the pasuk to prove. I think when you're more spiritual, you connect Torah with age makes it better. So that's that. All this is just in his brains. It's a way. It's a meditation, what we call in modern terms. It's a certain way of contemplating this, thinking into our reality. So the person's mind is preoccupied with that, and his mind actually captures this concept well in his mind. So automatically he's disinterested in any physical and material things. The only things he wants is the likus, because he knows that the likus is the ultimate truth, the ultimate things that survives, that not just survives, it's eternal. Not only that, even when he has to be, it's forced to be occupied with physical needs, so he's concentrating what is the real interest only in the godliness there. When he eats, for example, which is a physical act, which is an act to make, first of all, the act of eating itself is physical. And the purpose of eating is that his body should be healthy. So even that, why does he do it? Was he interested? He's not interested in the taste of the food. He's not even interested in that the food should make him strong. The only thing he's interested the only thing he's interested in his physical, in his material endeavors, is that it should strengthen his spiritual experience. Like it says in Tanya, if he eats in order to should be able to daven and learn, and eventually that strength that he gets from eating is used to daven and learning. So the energy that he got from the eating is consumed by likus. That's one mashal from achila. Another example of dvarim gashmim that's likus. Basically, similar when a person is busy with business. Why does he do business? Why is his mind occupied with making money? In order he should be able to be in a state of menucha, in a state of peace. He should be able to learn because he has money. He worked hard to make money. So the money makes him. He has the time to learn. Another use for his money, give tzedakah to people. Another use, use the money that the mitzvahs that he made, that he performed, should be behido, buy a nice esrog, nice tefillin, nice mezuzah. So b'meila, his entire, even the gashmis, the purpose of the gashmis is to reach alikus. My marazal, so this, what we just said, is Merum is not my marazal. In Parkei Avos, Aseite Rotzakva Malachta Haaretz. Ensure that the Torah is something which is kavua, which is built in and sustained. And Malachta Mashenken, your job, your work should be it should be something fleeting. What's the pshat? You do the kvava arai. So he says a deeper meaning. Kvava arai ain't like bezman. Doesn't mean time. Teros Akva means that you should always have times of learning. It should be always kavua. It should be a set time. It shouldn't move. But a job, do it sporadically. So that's the simple pshat. But he says that the pshat is deeper. It doesn't mean only time from time perspective. It is benefesh. In other words, it should be built. It should be stuck and attached and expressed in his own neshama. That he should feel inside him that his ultimate being, which is kavua benefesh, is that he has to learn Torah. Hashem, the malachot, all the things he does for parnasa, it's something it's not part of his essence. So all the interesting, he got into this very long discussion to explain what is Vasafta the Ganechem. They call this all these beinenus and also the action that he just described. They call them ma'aseh v'advarim hagashmim l'kus. So after when the person operates in such a way, the way it was described there, these beinenus brings to action that his entire behavior is directed one way to the likus, to elevate the world around him. First of all the mitzvahs that he said, tzedakah and he do mitzvahs, davening, learning. So to that, all the gashmis around him is gathered to connect to likus. Zer shekosov, and it's another pasuk from Shir Hashirim. Al tiru nishanish charcheresh es zafasni Hashemes. That right in the beginning, that Shir Hashirim says the female figure, the female figure in Shir Hashirim, which is Maramas and Eden, says, don't look at me like that. That fact that see that I'm dark, don't think that what I'm dark means is an expression of ugliness. The reason I'm dark is because I was tanned by the sun. That's the simple meaning of the pasuk. Now, what's the remes? The entire Shir Hashirim is the remes. Like Rashi says, it's all the remes. What's the remes here? He says, "Kamoya shemesh." So it's an interesting. This pasuk is used in a lot. There's various ways how to explain the pasuk up here, up here. Not just Chassidus, like I said. Even Rashi says that the whole Shir Hashirim is a mashal. But here in our Maimer, is an interesting shot. What's made Shir Hashirim says like this. Which means Kamoya Shemesh Shebetekev Chuma Mashkev Davar Shemir Berg, just like the sun, because it's so hot, so strong, so it darkens the skin of. I mean, it says Davar, but I don't know everything. But generally, it's the skin. The skin, if the person exposed to the sun, so that he can stand against dark, the skin gets dark. So what is the mashal? Don't forget, we said before that Shemesh is Havaya, right? That's that Shemesh is a remes of Gilikus. It says, to the flame of love. Because when a person is in a state of shemesh, he uses shemesh in a different way, not shemesh havai. Another way of shemesh. Shemesh means, what is shemesh? It's very hot and burning. So when a person is in a state of avas Hashem, reshafer ish peish, the shiur, the Ava of Aita, the Abish is compared to flames of fire. Ava Karish Be'esh, Shil Huva Derech Mutza means the flame of love. Natsa Shachus. That creates darkness. What does darkness represent in this marshal? Haina Bitl B'Chalot Vod. Shachus represents Bitl. Why? Darkness represents lack. In other words, it's one interesting way to look at it. When a person is bright, means he's expressive. When he's dark, when he's black, that means he's contained. He doesn't express himself. So shachas in this particular rendering is really an expression of bittul. So in other words, the shemesh, what is it called? Shilhuva derech musa. The strong Avas Hashem creates a bittul in the person. That's shchachoros. Shchachoros means dark, means a state of bittul. It's obviously, and so according to this, we have the word altiruni or not doesn't really fit. Okay, so this is what we finished discussing. It's all part of the discussion. What is the avodah of us after the ganech? That through all these all these actions, we reach a state of bittul to the Eibishter. Okay, we'll continue the Hemshach tomorrow.
Yeah. So poetic.